Thank you so much for the words of welcome. Thank you so much for the welcome ceremony. And like Her Excellency said, we felt blessed to be in your presence here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm indeed delighted to be here to join the Indian High Commissioner to Fiji this morning for the commissioning of the TC Winston rehabilitation works for your beautiful, as mentioned, school, your two beautiful schools. If I can just begin on what I saw on the next day of TC Winston, the night TC Winston struck. And the next morning I received a call from my town, my neighbors telling me, your house is gone. That's the call I received. I said, what? I thought my house was safe and secure. And they said, no, one of the houses is totally gone. And then I decided to travel. With the family, we left through King's Road. And believe me, every village that we crossed, all we could do was reach Tavua because the bridge at Yangara was also gone. And as we crossed the villages, we saw destruction. If you looked across the mountains, you could just see trees stripped of leaves. Everything across the path was gone. There was nothing I could do. I looked at the faces of people. I stopped by some of the villages. They helped clear the small bridges and crossings. And it took us about 8 or 9 hours to reach Tavua because all the roads were mostly closed. But I did not see the spirit of giving up in our people. Everybody was busy doing something, picking up the pieces that the cyclone had left for us. And as I looked, I said, we finished. I said to myself, we finished. What do we do now? But believe me, with the support of everybody that was mentioned by the head teacher, the NGOs, the families, the overseas donors, including our bilateral partners, India, Australia, New Zealand, and if I forget to mention, everybody and anybody that came on board to help us is probably allowing us to see today. It was a sad day. I know your homes were gone. I know the crops were gone. Clothes were gone. Food was gone. People were injured. But we struggled back. And look at where we are today. Fiji is still rebuilding. We haven't rebuilt. We are still rebuilding. We may have rebuilt your school, ladies and gentlemen, but the trauma that every Fijian went through during TC Winston will always remind us of how cruel nature can be, of how severe cyclones and floods and natural disasters can be. So what do? We prepare for the future. When we build these buildings, we have made sure as a government that we build back better. And these buildings, ladies and gentlemen, in the near future will serve as evacuation centers for you. It will protect you should, God forbid, another TC Winston Category 5 or a cyclone stronger that comes and hits Fiji. All we can do is pray. Let me never see a day like TC Winston again. Let our children not go through what they did. Let our elders not go through what they went through the period of TC Winston. But the fact is, we in the Pacific will experience flooding. We will experience cyclones. We will experience drought. That's the nature of natural disasters in the Pacific. So I want us to be prepared for that. Our children must know. We must never forget what happened during TC Winston, and we must always be prepared. So a simple message here, ladies and gentlemen, is when warnings are given for cyclones, we must take it seriously. When warnings are given for floods, we must take it seriously. So I think that's one thing that we can go back home with this message. Natural disasters do a lot of damage. What we need to be prepared, right? So I just wanted to start off with that. And so we traveled across this till we reached Yangara, and then we found out we couldn't go back towards Bao. We had to come back. And again, no lights, people sitting here and there talking. But I think you know that we Fijians are very strong. We never give up. And we should never give up. And that is what we should teach our children, not to give up. In any challenging situation, we have proven that we Fijians are strong. Come no matter, we will combine our efforts, we will work together in unity, and we will find solutions to every problem that comes across our way. And that is the way forward, ladies and gentlemen. And it's really a pleasure to see you here this morning, sitting in unity with the children, the parents. It's a very beautiful sight, like Her Excellency says. It's a very, very beautiful place that you live in. But I can imagine after TC Winston what this place looked like. So I'd like to thank everybody, the community, the elders, the teachers, the parents who struggled in the early days after TC Winston and made sure that our children's education continued. It was a directive from our Honorable Prime Minister then that schools must resume. I can understand how hard your task would have been. Getting the children home when they've lost their own homes, getting them to school. The various organizations that came on board providing clothes, food, and all the governments that came on board to stand together with the Fijian government. And then I understand learning in tents is not easy, with humid conditions, with the sunny side of things. But like I said, we are here today. And today we celebrate. We celebrate today the commissioning of your rehabilitated the classrooms. So can I ask all of us, the head teacher has said much, Her Excellency has said much, can I just ask us to put our hands together and say a big thank you, a very big thank you. To the Indian government, to the people of India, to the Prime Minister of India, for keeping us in their thoughts, for contributing generously during our times of need and allowing us to see this beautiful day where now our children have access to such beautiful, newly rehabilitated classrooms to continue their education. So thank you very much, Your Excellency. Again, if I can make mention of other schools, the 20 schools that the Indian government adopted the 20 schools, I think it's very important to put on record the contributions of the Indian government in the other 20 schools, and they include Dawasamu Secondary School, Gaunavo Primary School, Korunumbu Sanatan School, Nakovandra High School, Naviti District School, Navunisea District School, Nukulo College, Nukulo Sanatan Dharm, Penang Sangam High, Penang Sangam Primary, Reki Reki Public, Ratu Apanisa Memorial, Sarava SD School, Shasti Memorial, Somolevu Catholic School, Vunindawa Primary School, Vunisamaloa Sangam School, and of course your two schools, Wainibuka District and Wainibuka Secondary Schools. Out of the 20 schools, 14 are totally completed, and there are some minor works going on in other schools as well. Your building, ladies and gentlemen, the Wainibuka District Primary School cost stands at $880,000. 13 buildings rehabilitated and constructed with staff quarters and the school, all that. And of course, you have 1x4 newly constructed classrooms. For a secondary school, the cost of rebuilding and rehabilitating stands at $971,536,000. So that much money has been gone into these schools. And of course, I'd like to thank our contractors for the timely construction of these schools. And again, if I can mention, we are still continuing building schools. We haven't completed. And in the next financial year, the government has allocated another 35 million to complete all reconstruction of schools that has been affected by Winston, Kenny, Josie, and TC Gita. And like I said, all buildings that we are going to build now will be built back to better standards, so it can withstand cyclone. That's the way forward. Okay. So on that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd also like to congratulate your two schools for their achievements over the past years. I'd like to thank the former the head teacher and the principal and the current head teachers and principal and the staff. You have a lot of work ahead of you. And my challenge basically this morning is to the year 13 students. All the year 13 students, I want you to do academically well so that you can qualify for National Topper Scholarship. We have 970 scholarships available to the top students of the country in areas where the industry needs are. And to the year 13 students, please ask your teachers to tell you more about how you qualify. You have to be the top 970 students in year 13 to qualify for this scholarship. Everything, because it's a scholarship, your parents will not have to fork out money to send you to study. So that's my challenge to the year 13 students. But I also mentioned the discipline in this school. When the kids came up to do the national anthem, when the students were doing the Sevu Sevu, that shows the rich cultural teachings that you have in this school as well. And that is something, ladies and gentlemen, that we should value. This is our culture. These are our children. And these are the ones that will take this culture and this country forward in the years to come. So to the elders and the parents, thank you very much for instilling that discipline in your children. Keep teaching your children respect. Keep teaching your children to work hard. Keep teaching your children to be disciplined. And I'm sure your district will one day produce probably another education minister or another prime minister, another government official. And that's the aim that should be. Okay? So, again, ladies and gentlemen, I know we have a lot of other things to do, but if I can just say, let's celebrate wholeheartedly. Let's celebrate, but let us not forget the memories of the past. Let us move forward with new hopes and positivity. And again, as a government, we are investing millions in building and rebuilding buildings, but I'd like you to look after these buildings. Come 10 years down the lane when we come back, these buildings should be maintained and should look what it is today. And as we all gather again to celebrate in the various colors that you have put up, may our lives also be filled with colors. Okay? May all of us be happy. May God bless you with good health and wealth and long life, and may we do our country proud. So once again, thank you, Madam Excellency, for the contributions of the Indian government. We wholeheartedly appreciate that. Thank you to the Vanua for the traditional welcome ceremony, and thank you all for taking time out to be here with us this morning. Thank you very much. Keep smiling, and God bless you all.